Don't do it. Not yet. Not like this. Not in this moment when the exhaustion is loudest and the doubt is sharpest, and the voice in your head has built the most convincing case it has ever assembled for why stopping is the only sensible thing left to do. Do not quit in this moment. Because this moment, as real and as heavy and as suffocating as it feels right now, is not a verdict. It is a test. And you have passed every test like this before, even when you were certain you wouldn't. I know where you are right now. I know it because it is one of the most human places there is. You started something that mattered to you. Maybe it was a business. Maybe it was a fitness journey. Maybe it was a degree you went back to finish. Maybe it was a creative project you have poured yourself into. Maybe it was the decision to rebuild your life from the ground up after something broke it apart. You started with fire. You started with the absolute certainty that this time was different, that this time you had what it takes, that this time you were going to see it through. And then the fire met the friction, and the friction won some rounds. And now here you are, tired in a way that sleep does not fix, questioning whether the thing you started was ever worth starting, wondering if the people who doubted you were actually seeing something clearly that you were too stubborn or too naive to admit. I am asking you, begging you, to not make the decision to quit from inside this moment, because this moment is lying to you. Let me tell you about James Dyson. He spent 15 years and created 5,127 failed prototypes before he built the vacuum cleaner that changed an industry. 5,127 times the thing did not work. 5,127 times a lesser person would have had every logical, rational, entirely defensible reason to stop. His family's savings were gone. His friends thought he had lost his mind. The established companies he approached to license his technology laughed him out of the room, and he kept going. Not because he was immune to doubt, not because failure did not hurt, but because he had decided, somewhere in the long, grinding, invisible middle of that 15-year journey, that quitting was not something he was willing to live with. Today, the Dyson Company is worth over $13 billion, and every single dollar of it was built on the foundation of 5,127 failures that he refused to let be the final word. Or think about Oprah Winfrey. Before she became the most powerful woman in media, before the empire and the magazine and the network and the cultural force that her name represents today, she was fired from her first television job. The producer told her she was unfit for TV. She was told she was too emotional, too heavy, too much of everything and not enough of what the industry wanted. She was demoted from news anchor to daytime talk show host as if it were a punishment. And she took that supposed punishment and she built it into something the world had never seen. She did not quit when they told her she was not enough. She decided that their definition of enough was not the definition she was operating from. But I want to go beyond the famous names, because sometimes the famous names feel too far away from the life you are actually living. Think about the nurse who went through 4 years of school while working double shifts to pay for it, who nearly dropped out in the final semester when the debt felt unsurvivable and the exhaustion was so deep she fell asleep standing up during a shift, and who stayed anyway. Who is now the person other nurses call when they do not know what to do. Who has saved lives with her hands and her knowledge and the stubborn decision she made in that final semester to not let everything she had already sacrificed be for nothing. Think about the father who lost his job, his confidence, and very nearly his sense of self in the same brutal stretch of months. Who sat in his car in the parking lot of a grocery store he could barely afford to shop at and made a decision, not a comfortable decision, not an easy one, but a real one, that his children were not going to watch him give up. who learned a new skill at 44, launched a business from that same car with a phone and a laptop and nothing else, and who now employs 7 people and sends his kids to the school they dreamed of attending. Think about the woman who submitted her manuscript to 61 literary agents and received 61 rejections. Not discouraging form letters, actual personal rejections that told her in various polished ways that her work was not good enough for the market. Who on the 62nd submission found a yes. Whose book went on to sell over 500 million copies worldwide. You know her name. You know Harry Potter. You know J.K. Rowling. And you know that if she had quit at rejection 60, if she had let 60 intelligent professionals convince her that her vision was not worth fighting for, an entire generation of children would have grown up without magic. Here is what every single one of these stories has in common. The moment they almost quit. Every one of them had it. The moment where stopping was not just tempting, but logical, where continuing required something that felt superhuman because the human part of them was completely spent. And in that moment, that specific, brutal, defining moment, they found one more reason to stay. Just one. Not 100 reasons, not a renewed surge of passion and energy and certainty. One reason. And that one reason was enough. What is yours? Right now, in this moment, before you make any decision, what is the one reason that made you start this in the first place? Not the plan, not the strategy, not the vision of the outcome. The feeling, the reason underneath all the reasons. The thing that made you decide before the difficulty showed up that this was worth doing. Find that. Hold it. Let it be bigger than the exhaustion. Let it be louder than the doubt. Let it be the thing that carries you past this moment into the next one. Because here is what quitting in this moment actually costs you. It is not just the goal. It is the person you would have become by pushing through. The confidence that only comes from proving to yourself that you do not break when things get hard. The unshakable knowledge, bone deep, permanently yours, that you are the kind of person who stays. That knowledge cannot be bought. It cannot be given to you. It can only be earned by staying when every part of you wanted to go. You have not come this far to only come this far. One more step. Just one more. Take it. If this reached you at exactly the right moment, share it with someone who is standing at the edge of quitting something that still deserves their best. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up every day for the people who refuse to give up. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the thing you almost quit that you are going to keep going with? Say it out loud. That declaration is the next step. Let's go.